I volunteered for the draft. A friend of mine was at a community college and it was failing, and he was going to be drafted. And I was in college, and I was paying for my own college and kind of struggling along. Mm-hmm. And he was going to get drafted, and I thought I would go into the service with him. And we went to a recruiter and volunteered for the draft. We were told we would get special privileges, that we'd have a chance to choose exactly what kind of military job we wanted to do. And all of that turned out to be a sales job. And everybody that volunteered for the draft ended up in the infantry. Want to hear a story?
Yeah.
Okay. Recon platoon was out one day guarding a village because we brought in medical care. We did examinations. We gave shots to children. We spent the day addressing illnesses and wounds. And we left. We got about 50 yards outside the village. We got 50 yards outside the village and they opened fire on us after we'd spent the day giving them medical care. My job in the recon platoon was the radio operator. Mm-hmm. I was experienced and good at my job, and what my fellow soldiers expect from me is to get help as quickly as possible, because we're not a full line company. We don't have the ability to stand a long combat. We can do short firefights and move out. So my fellow soldiers depend upon me to get help. And I was so mad that I called in jets, I called in artillery, and I called in helicopter gunships. And when I was done, the village was gone. None of my friends, I was popular and a happy-go-lucky guy in high school. None of my friends ever said a word to me about it. It was like, oh, well, he'd just been to the beach for the weekend. And only one person said she was glad that I made it home safely. That my experience is very similar to other Vietnam veterans. It was just like such a disconnect at the very time when we needed support and love the most. Mm-hmm. It was like they became part of the problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then, what those experiences have done to you to change you as a person. So all that transition happened over 14 months. When I came home, I had no idea who I was as a person. Mm-hmm. I came home thinking or trying to be the person, the kid I was before I went. So I looked in my closet and I dressed the same, and I thought I was the same, and I thought I'd get right back into my surfing and my golfing and my friends, But I was so different, it took me a long time to figure out I'm a pretty different guy. And that's that whole start of the whole healing experience. Yeah. I was pretty thin, I was pretty gaunt. And the look in my eyes was really different. Pretty different. Suspicious, weary, leery. For the longest time, even really today, I could not go sit in a restaurant and have my back to the door. I watch people's hands. I don't do that anymore, but for 15, 20 years, walking through downtown, I watched people's hands because I didn't looking for weapons. I watched their movements, like in combat. Things scared me. I was in school in college, and when a book drops on a table, it makes a crack sound. It sounds just like a rifle. I went down on the ground. Ironic and cruel. The day we were in the village, some of my fellow soldiers had a young girl that they were going to abuse. And I happened to walk up to them. They were back behind a hooch. And there were 4 of them and 1 of me, and we all had weapons. And I told them they needed to stop, let the girl up. And they said they weren't going to do it. We've all got weapons. And I stood my ground.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave the girl a chance to get up and leave, and nobody did anything. But the whole cruel irony is that when I called in the gunships and blew the village away, she went too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why wouldn't she? And that whole day stays with me.